Welcome to the SA Women Do Dubai podcast, hosted by Tsakani Mpofu, the podcast that empowers and connects like-minded businesswomen around the world. Hashtag it can be done.
Good evening to us at home. I'm so excited. My name is Tsakani Mpofu. I'm your host tonight. Thank you so much. So as we continue to celebrate our Youth Month, I'm so excited because this is a special month. All of us were youth and freedom indeed is coming. I'm saying again, Happy Youth Month. Let me also take this opportunity to also celebrate our two guests that we had previously that have partnered with us to empower some of the youth. I'll give the results hopefully month end. Today we have our special guest. She's a mother. She's a queen. She's so beautiful inside and out. She's a philanthropist. She's got a heart for women and youth. I've seen her, when I'm with her, we will be talking about how can be done to empower youth. She's a businesswoman, but today we are going to talk about the First Step organization, the non-profit organization that she's managing. Her name is Mrs. Can I call you Queen or Mrs.? It's Tebogo Raphakgadi. And our theme today is just so different because we continue to celebrate our Youth Month. Is the impact of our action, giving back, and the youth. Miss Tebogo, my queen, can you please introduce more? Tell us more about yourself.
Good evening, everyone.
Miss
I hope everyone is fine out there. It's cold in South Africa. It's 7:00 and we are women. We are doing our thing. Thank you, everybody, for accepting the invite, taking your time to tune in. We are really, really grateful and we really appreciate your time. I was asked today to talk about the youth, which is a topic that I'm very passionate about. The youth are at the center of my heart because I understand that I know that they are the leaders and the future for our country tomorrow. I'm a mother of 2 teenagers. They will be youth soon. I'm a wife to a very supporting husband. I'm a businesswoman. I'm a philanthropist. And most of all, I love people. I'm just going to introduce myself. I was born and bred in Soshanguve, Pretoria. That is the north of Pretoria. It's a township in Gauteng. They call it a kasi. When you're in South Africa, we call townships kasi. I was born there. I was raised there. I'm the last child of 4 children. I grew up in a family where my father was a businessman. And in the apartheid era, then when apartheid finished in 1994, he became a pastor. So essentially, I'm now a pastor's kid. And I was a Christian, a very staunch Christian, growing in a Christian home until I decided to leave Christianity and decided to be a humanitarian. So currently, my religious views are that of a humanitarian, kindness, and integrity. I'm sorry about that. I went off. It's just my screen. Okay. I'd like to tell you that I met Ms. Tsakani Mpofu at GIPS when we were doing our leadership program. And I asked her, Tsakani, why would you choose me to come to your group, which is South African Women Do Dubai? Who am I to come and stand on an international stage and speak to people? Why me? She just said, you know what? I chose you because you got to GIPS. You didn't look down on anyone. You were friendly with everybody and you were kind. Then I thought, oh, that religion that I chose for myself is working because other people are starting to recognize it. Okay, moving from there, I'd like to explain to the youth about conformance. I'm the kind of person who doesn't conform to societal standards and norms. I would advise you not to conform, because if you conform, you lock yourself into a box. You're gonna do things because others say you must do things like this. And remember, this is your life. You've got only one life. I'd like to now encourage the youth to start having dreams and goals. I hope we've got youth here with us. Your dreams and your goals are valid. Each time that you speak about your dreams to people, or you tell somebody and you see that they don't understand your vision, or they think you're crazy, just know that you have surrounded yourself with incorrect people. Your dreams are always valid, and you have to work towards achieving all your dreams and your goals. It's hard work, it's never easy. Okay? And then I want to talk about success. I'd like the youth today to think about success as a personal thing. Success is very personal in a sense that if you feel that your sense of success is having many academic degrees, don't let somebody else tell you that that is not the success. It's not success. Success is personal in a sense that if you feel being a mother and a wife is success for you, you have to determine it and work towards your goals of success. It's never easy to reach the level of success that some of us here are. It's not easy. You work through it and you work for it. Okay? But don't let, the most important thing, don't let anybody define what success is for you. On your way to finding success, I would advise you to build relationships that are meaningful, that are intentional to your growth. Even when you follow people on social media, try to follow people that inspire you to be better. People that will assist you to achieve your goals to be successful. Okay? I want us to have an interactive session. I don't know everything, so this is not a classroom. Now, in terms of the youth, once you have worked and achieved the level of success that you have set yourself and you want, I would say then it is the time to start lifting others, because we rise by lifting others. And remember, it's not so easy to try to lift somebody when your own cup is full. So you cannot pour from an empty cup. What you need to do is reach your success, be content, and then from there, it will breed gratitude, where you can now start lifting others. At the end of the day, when you start living for a purpose of doing good and giving back to society, that's when you start achieving true fulfillment within yourself and within an environment, because you're going to live to leave a legacy. Okay? To the youth who are currently employed, I would like to advise you not to engage yourself in lifestyle debt. Okay? If you want to build wealth, you want to be successful in areas of financial success, you need to look after your credit record. You need to look after the money that you get. Use the money that you get as a seed that you plant to achieve your goals. Avoid instant gratification. Things like a very beautiful, fancy, nice car, fancy house, all those things on credit. Please try to avoid them. Use your salary to invest, grow your money to a point where your money will start to work for you. Then you know at the time that you retire, the money that you would have worked for is working for you instead of you working for money. Okay? I'd like us to also address the current socio-economic conditions in our country, which are very challenging. Here, I would like Tsakani to open the floor so that we can get advice and also input from other leaders within our group to advise the youth that have joined us in challenges that addresses unemployment, substance abuse, and teenage pregnancy. I've come to realize that substance abuse doesn't only affect poor and underprivileged people. It cuts across the rich and the poor. This gives me now an idea that perhaps substance abuse is as a result of mental health issues or issues to do with mental health, people trying to escape reality, especially the youth. Now we must try to eradicate such problems, because how are we going to have leaders tomorrow who abuse substances? How are we going to move our country forward when children are having children? How are we going to move our country forward if people remain unemployed and in despair?
Okay. Oh, okay. I'll just say something concerning the unemployment ratio that we are going through. What I can say, it's true that in South Africa, most of our youth, they are unemployed and it becoming a challenge. Last week, I was at the university and I saw children graduating. And what I've learned, and so one thing that was said to them, they were told that now your life is in your hands. And which means from now on, after getting this certificate, you have to make sure that you start to do something on your own. But I think we need to support them. We have to come with initiatives that we can assist them to grow, like what you are doing with First Steps. So I would want you to tell us more about First Steps, because I think all the answers, 80% of the answers for the unemployment, they are in your organization, the First Step. What are you doing there?
Okay. The First Step was founded as an organization to help Black people in South Africa to help themselves. We've been 28 years into democracy, and things seems to be falling apart because most of us are waiting for the government to do things for us. The First Step was founded as a first step towards liberating Black people, in a sense that we want to create Black-run organizations which are Black-owned, Black-managed, and sustainable for ourselves, by ourselves. That means, in the First Step, we donate money, and then with this money, we're gonna create food security for our people. How are we gonna do that? We're gonna buy hectares of land or rent out hectares of land. That is the goal. Start farming on the land, employ our people, Black youth, Black managers, Black farmers to run the farms, and then produce food for ourselves. We're going to invest the money that we get and build institutions like schools, clinics, hospitals, but each institution one step at a time. Remember that if when we invest in infrastructure, we also create sustainable jobs. And for us to sustain ourselves as Black nation, we have to start doing things on our own. When we take our children to school, we want to give them an education that is for us, solves our problems, and will work for us. We are tired of being the ants that eat the last part of what is within our land. So we want to run this organization to change the status quo. We are economically at the bottom, but we are the majority. Just imagine 10 rands from every one of us, the kind of things we will create. And in the bigger scheme of things, when our children grow, seeing that there are organizations such as good private schools, good hospitals, good banks that are run by Blacks, they will gain self-esteem also to say, okay, we can also do it. Because currently, if you go to banks, if you go to the mines, who's at the top? We want to change that, and it can be done. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. Can you also tell us more about the HR thing that you are doing for job employment that you are doing for youth? Because we want you to go more into what you are doing so that we understand what you are doing. Yes, we understand
okay.
Now I want to understand the HR part that you are doing for this youth to be employed.
For this youth. Okay,
yes.
Let me start by saying I served in the IT industry for just over a decade, corporate South Africa, so I was full-time employed. When I left corporate South Africa, because I was always passionate about assisting people and lifting people, I started a recruitment and placements agency where I recruited young graduates and placed them into jobs. As I grew into business, I saw that I don't want to do this as a business or do it for money. I want to give back to our youth. So I'm doing it on a daily basis for free. What I do is that from all my contacts that I have managed to build over the years through the business, I use those contacts to get job opportunities on daily basis. I'm talking about from cleaners, general workers, up to engineers and CEOs, executives and MBA graduates. I post the jobs on my WhatsApp status, and everybody who is unemployed, employed, or looking for a job can apply for that job, give you information of where jobs are. And then most of the people that are seeing the jobs, they are applying. When they qualify, they get hired. I get a lot of messages from graduates, from middle management, senior management, people telling me, listen here, I've applied for that job, and I got it. So this is how I give back every single day. So I do this dedication. It's my time every day for free.
Okay, no, thank you so much. There was someone who sent something that to fight unemployment in South Africa, maybe we have to have a way, our children has to be trained how to deal or how to create, to be trained in the business industry while they are still young. Because some of them, they are good in hands, some they are good in what you are doing. Like you have once told me that some of them, you train them to do things on themselves. The ones that are good in manufacturing and whatever, you support them and you assist them to sell those things. Some of them you help them to import those things. So maybe if our youth are trained while they were still young, maybe it's by, just for business, because some of them, they have this gift and whatever, but our mindset is like, I have to have my grade 12. And we as parents, we give them pressure to say, I want to see the degree, while our children, they have different talents, and they can do something. They can create job employment on themselves instead of them wanting to be employed. So I have one question again on regarding of what you are doing. Like on one step, I'm interested more in on one step. So you told me about the HR one, the one that you are doing, and then tell me more about the trainings that you do. How often do you conduct those training, and how if one is interested or someone is interested in applying for those trainings, what must they do?
Okay, with regards to training, we plan to do it in collaboration with South African Women Do Dubai on a quarterly basis. For example, we bring people from CEDA or the NHBRC or the CIDB to train the youth on skills. Like we do not only need graduates in South Africa, we need artisans, we need bricklayers, we need technical staff, we need laborers. So as we were speaking, yourself and me last week, that we must organize those trainings on a quarterly basis to have the youth together in collaboration with the First Step and South African Do Dubai. We have them together. We bring the trainers, they get trained, and then we can work on a solution to place them in order to get in-service training or practical training. So youth that are interested, please join us in the First Step in collaboration with South African Women Do Dubai, so that we can give back to the youth and then get the necessary skills to skill you, that even if you don't have matric or you don't have a qualification or whatever, but you can still make a living and not go to bed hungry. Thank you so much.
Why is youth empowerment so important to you?
Okay, for me, it is partly because I was also a youth for a long time. I'd like to tell everyone that I matriculated at 14 years old. So I've been a youth since I was a teenager. And then remember, in our days, we didn't have any coaches, we didn't have any mentors. You just had to navigate life on your own. It was difficult. I made a lot of mistakes. Because of lack of maturity, because of being naive, because of not having anybody to hold my hand and help me. So the reason I'm passionate about the youth is that I would not want you to fall in the same pitfalls that I fell into. So if you've got business leaders like ourselves and the women in South African Women Do Dubai, because I guarantee you that here we've got only powerhouses of women. We are women who are leaders, but leaders that are not bosses. We are leaders that are mentors, that are coaches, and that are ready to serve you. So we are not here to tell you that we are business women. We are here to empower you to be the best version of yourself. The reason I'm passionate about the youth is I was a youth myself. I wish I had somebody like myself and other business leaders to guide me and to help me and to lift me up and to tell me that your dreams are valid. Your dreams are valid. Unfortunately, I didn't have such. I only had people around me that said, oh, you like to dream too much. Oh, you like to live in dreamland. Oh, naysayers trying to drag you down. But despite all of that, Despite all of that, I can say I have made it, because the level of success that I've reached, I'm so content that I'm grateful for everything, even the challenges. I've been through a lot. As I'm telling you, I've made a lot of mistakes. But let me tell you, as a youth, whatever happens to you, negative or positive, it happens for you. The bad experience that you have, it has built you. Somebody else doesn't have it. So you are fortunate because you have it. It's a hurdle, and you have overcome it. So I'm passionate about the youth, so that me and other business leaders, we can be of service to you, serve you, help you achieve your goals, help you achieve your dreams. Even if we can't help everyone, in a year, if I can just place 5 kids, 5 graduates, well, I place more than that, but 5 for me is the absolute minimum. I'm so happy. It's such a fulfillment to see a person's life change from what it was before to what it becomes after they get the job, the excitement on their face, the WhatsApp messages that they send. I mean, I'm always happy because the youth are happy. Thank you about that.
Thank you. You are happy when you see someone smiling.
Yes. When I see
thank you
somebody's
so much.
life change.
What do you believe will encourage youth to set realistic goals?
Okay, to set realistic goals, I would say the youth must start by knowing himself or herself. Know what you want. Define success for yourself. Then work towards your goals, which are realistic. How will they be realistic? You will understand your own weaknesses and your own strengths. Therefore, you will be able to set goals which are realistic. And setting a standard for yourself for success will also assist you to run your own race in the race of success. It will assist you to run your own race in the success of life, because now you're chasing after your own goals. You're not chasing after so and so and so. This person is doing that, this person is doing. At the end of the day, you have achieved nothing. So if you set your own goals and you become successful the way that you set the standard for yourself, you become content, you become grateful, and you start lifting others.
And don't be under pressure. You must understand where you are going and where you are coming from, and you are not in competition with anyone.
Yes.
Okay, thank you so much. The narrative, I've been talking about it, like when I was raised or when I was home, when I was young, I've heard people talking about this. Can you please explain the phrase, it takes a village to raise a child?
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, my queen. It does indeed take a village to raise a child. Okay. I grew up with this. Growing up in a black township, I don't know if many of you understand the hardships and the type of abuse, violence, anger by people that are older than us. The odds are literally against you when you grow up in such an environment. Now, when we say it takes a village to raise a child, it means, as a parent of my own children, I don't know everything and I didn't experience everything. So if you see me, Tsakani, I've got children and you are good at something, please lend a helping hand. Let's raise this child to be the best version of himself or herself. In the bigger scheme of things, the more positivity that we instill in children or the youth, the better our country will be. good values. That will mean we'll have leaders with integrity. If we instill sense of responsibility, accountability, all of us as leaders, we are responsible and accountable for raising the youth and children.
Okay, thank you so much. In my language, they always say, "Mwana aiwa umwe." So we were raised by different mothers and fathers, and they have invested so much to us. So I know that when we see children and youth, we have to make sure that, especially with our partnership that we have with you, let's work so hard, let's push to ensure that we empower our youth out there, because mwana aiwa this why tiko ilikuwa.
Thank you, my queen. I'd like to lastly talk about the last point that I have for my address today. And this is directed mainly to the business leaders in South African Women Do Dubai, because I know you ladies are powerful, strong women. You are leaders. I would like us to be mindful of the impact of our actions. Okay? There is a Setswana saying that says, Mudiri walebala, mudirwa halebali. Loosely translated, it means a perpetrator easily forgets, but the victim never forgets. In this, I'd like to emphasize that the words that we speak to our youth, the actions that we do in front of our youth, have a great impact on how they turn out. The youth and children don't listen necessarily to what we say, but they emulate what we do. I'd like to share two stories of some of the youth that I'm working with. It's two young women. One said to me, Mama, you know, because they naturally call me Mama. I don't ask them to call me that. I don't know why they do that. She said, Mama, from the age of about 6, 7, when I started school, my father was somebody that I looked up to. He used to take a peg and put it on my nose. He told me that my nose is too flat and small, so he's trying to straighten it out. She says to me, I've lived with those words until I was 20 years old when I started to work at sea. When we were taking pictures for the access cards, I smiled and my boss said, wow, you've got a beautiful smile. That was the second person that I was looking up to as a leader. So all these years, I grew up and never smiled. I was always sad and thinking that I'm inadequate because of something that my father said, that my nose is too flat. This leader told me that I've got a beautiful smile. And now I'm working on cargos, I'm working on ships, I'm working everywhere because I smile more and I'm myself. Now, with that, I want you to understand the kind of impact that we have on children and the youth as business leaders. When they see us living like this and having conferences and leading organizations, to them, whatever we say and whatever we do, it impacts greatly on their lives. So I would urge us to always be mindful of the things we say. Let us encourage them. Let us be positive. Let us be more compassionate, understanding, zero critical, zero judgmental. We must always try to put ourselves in our shoes, encourage them, teach them, instead of bashing them and pulling them down. The last story is of a girl, also one I'm working with in this youth development. She says to me, Mama, the other time I started dating when I was about 13 or 14. My mother was not happy about this. She took all my clothes and burned them. Because she chose that method of discipline, did I not continue to jola with them jolo? Did I not become worse? So that showed me that the kind of discipline was a punishment. It was not teaching her anything. It was inflicting pain on her, and she was rebelling against the pain. So as leaders, let us be mindful and remember that we carry the youth on our shoulders. Every time you judge a child, or every time you criticize a child, that word or that bad action that you do might stay with them forever. So we should be accountable and take responsibility for the things that we do and the things that we say. In closing, to the youth, I would like to give you the best advice I've received so far. I live by this advice, I work by this advice, and I always remember this advice. This advice was by an old man called Andre de Shields of Baltimore. He said, surround yourself with people whose eyes light up when they see you coming. Slowly is the fastest way to get to where you want to be. And 3, the top of one mountain is the beginning of the next, so keep climbing. May your cup runneth over, such that you cannot contain it. Thank you.
Wow. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the advice, especially for us queens. These youth, they are looking up to us. Sometimes you might not know that you are someone's role model. Whatever you are doing, if it's good, the youth will copy. If it's bad, they will copy. And yesterday I was talking about something, it just reminded me of something, that each and every person that is in this world is a queen and a king. Unfortunately, that person is either she knows or she doesn't know, and or she hasn't found herself. To our youth out there, I want to add on what Tebogo said. You are capable. You are beautiful. You are not disabled. You might be disabled physically, but there's a book that I love. It's not in the package, but it's inside. So if you are willing, and if you are willing to learn, and also whenever you want to surround yourself with the right people, you must also have good habits, good intentions, and a good heart. And the motto to everything is humble yourself, and the rest will just follow. You can have a good degree, a good diploma. You can be gifted with a good talent, but if your character is not okay, you'll stay home with whatever you have. So let's try so hard to fight our habits, to fight something that they are not right, so that we'll be able to achieve in this world. No one wants to work with someone that is not, this person is gifted, but the character is not okay. I think we have a question or a comment. Okay, no, it's just a comment. And you are also in women empowerment. You know why I loved you? The first time we met, we spoke. I think I was the one that was very quiet in the class. Everyone was talking. And for me, I was just listening. But can you tell us more about your philanthropist work that you are doing in closing?
Okay, the philanthropy work I'm doing for young girls, not really women. The thing is, Queen Sakane, as I told you, I'm passionate about young people. Not so passionate about people our age and more, because why? We are on our way to the grave. So we must empower and lift the young ones.
Okay.
So the philanthropy work that we do is drives of distributing sanitary towels. As you know, that our communities are very impoverished, and COVID-19 didn't do any justice. The government doesn't give free sanitary towels, although they give free condoms. So girl children sometimes would miss school because they don't have pads. So what we do, we give them pads. We also distribute food parcels. As that food parcels we started at the time of COVID-19 because a lot of people were destitute and they needed food. So that is the drives that I'm currently doing. I'm not doing them on a big scale. It's only my little corner. But I hope with our collaboration, we're going to go big and go international because even if you change, you must be the change that you want to see happen in the world. So even if I don't make a difference to many people, but the few people that I'm touching, it's the few people that we are empowering. And I would like to urge every business leader, start in your little corner. You don't have to start big. You don't have to start. And as time goes on, you can always build on that. But one life touched and one life changed is one too many.
Okay. Thank you so much. And I have a question. I know you said lastly, but now I'm adding on your last. What advice you can give to this youth? She started a business and she's not doing well. And this youth now she just decided to just close down because this thing is not working. What advice? And it's me and you and the queens in the group, and we go to a space or to a business. What advice you can give to that youth, that lady, that young girl?
Okay, I would start by asking the young girl, what business has she started? Firstly, is she selling? Is she providing a service or what? I would ask her about her target market, if she's in the right space, if she's targeting the right people. I would ask her about her pricing. Is she here with us, Queen Tsakani?
Yes, we have visited her to a workplace. Yeah, she's here. Yes.
I mean, on the platform, is she available now on the platform?
Yes. Yes.
Okay. Is she willing to take questions?
No.
Oh,
because
okay. All right. If she's got that time, you can give her my number so that, because in order to advise her, we'll have to know what kind of business she's in, what is her target market, what is her projections, how much is she selling, what is her pricing and stuff like that.
Okay.
Yes.
And again, what do you advise this youth who's got a degree, but she's trying to open a business, but it's not working? What advice you can give? This is a general question. It's not
Sorry,
designed.
my queen, I didn't hear that. You are cutting a bit.
I'm saying, what advice you can give to do this youth? She has a degree, but she has been trying to get it to be employed, but she's not getting any help. Now she decided to open his business, but she doesn't know where to go and she doesn't have funding. What advice can you give to that one? This one is general. There's no one. It's just a general
question. Okay. I would say to the young person who is thinking about starting a business first, you must have a business idea. You can't start a business without an idea. Your idea starts in your head. Take it from your head and put it on a piece of paper to say, okay, I've got a business idea. Here's my business idea. Let's say, for example, I plan to, well, I've seen that simple businesses usually bring more income and they are much quicker to start because they don't require funding and stuff like that. So I would say, once you have a business idea, jot it down on paper, go online, register a company. It's not expensive. Go to a bank, any commercial bank in South Africa, open a business account for your company. You can start by supplying the government if you want to work with the government. You can start small, supply stuff to them, register on the central database, get requests for quotation, see how it goes, make relationships. And, success is not an event, it's a process. So you have to be willing to work and get there slowly, bit by bit, like all of us have. You start small, you build on it, you build on it, you build on it. As you grow, remember, you grow a business, you are supplying pencils. Tomorrow you are supplying books and pencils and files. On your journey, growing, you're going to meet more people, relationships. They will help you to go up until ultimately you achieve that goal that you want to achieve. And I would say to that youth, listen, your dream is valid. Your dream is valid. Let's take, for example, let's think about Elon Musk. He comes from South Africa, I hear, and then he was attending Boys High. Do you think when he was in Boys High telling people that I'm going to go to space and I'm going to make a car that works in electricity, they didn't discourage him? I'm sure they did. But he stuck to his dreams and he started to be around the right people who can see, people who are visionary. And you have to develop your mindset. Your mindset and your attitude needs to be beyond 90% of people in the world. There's only a few successful people in the world. Success, you work for it. You have to believe it. You have to be intentional, even about the relationships that you form. Don't go around befriending and sitting, wasting your time, wasting the yoke of your youth with people that are always gossiping. They don't have vision. They talk about people. They open WhatsApp group to talk about people. Don't do that. You are just filling your mind with nonsense. Go to WhatsApp groups that are talking about development. WhatsApp groups that are talking about job opportunities if you've got a degree and you want to work. WhatsApp groups that are talking about business development, about business opportunities, about available opportunities abroad and here, about the youth. On social media, go and follow people that will teach you the stock market, to say, listen, if you've got 100 Rand, start with 100 Rand. Invest in companies like ShopRite, Sibanye Gold. Open Easy Equities account on your phone. Your smartphone is your tool. You can do a lot of things. You can become rich through your smartphone. You don't need a broker anymore to invest in the stock market. You do it from your phone. Even the companies overseas like McDonald's, Easy Equities, you install on your phone, you start investing from as little as 100 Rand. Every month you build. If you start today, just watch yourself where you will be in 5 years' time. Follow property moguls. Follow people on social media that are intentional about growth and building wealth and letting money work for them, and people that give back. Leave those WhatsApp groups which are gossiping. Leave those friends which are gossiping. Be intentional about your growth. Read books so that you can develop yourself, you can grow yourself.
Thanks for listening. If you enjoyed this podcast and you'd like to help support the podcast, please share it with others, post about it on social media, or leave a rating and review. To catch all the latest from us, you can follow us on @SA Women Do Dubai. Thanks again, and we'll see you next time.